Yo, what's happening, man? It's your boy Papa Duck. As y'all see, I'm out here with Mother right now, Mother Nature. And before I start this video, if your ass over a certain age, 35, 25, 40, yeah, better get out here and start walking, getting that blood flowing, eating this fucked up food. I'm just dropping that on y'all. Like I'm saying, I ain't perfect, but I'm gonna get my ass out here and I advise y'all to do the same motherfucking thing. Now, let's look at words, right? We're gonna take, for instance, social media, words. Timeline. You think they just call that bitch a timeline because it sound good? Hell no. What is a timeline? Time is like something that's separated or divided, right? Line is when you scroll down the line. A line is like rope or something that's keeping or cataloging different events all together on a line. So when you scroll up and down that line, you see different variations of different people's realities that collapses your reality. Meaning you're being influenced by other people's reality by them posting their little highlights and shit. You're shifting time, or what they call time collapse. And how you know this is true? You ever go on social media and a lot of times it be people you know, it be a classmate, a cousin, somebody you grew up with, they post some shit and it's like they living their best life and that shit get you in your feelings. You collapse in time. You basically taking your own organic timeline and you're interacting with other people's timeline, which is throwing you off. This is like throwing you off of Earth's rhythm, which is they call circadian rhythm. We are all thrown off Earth's rhythm, just off the calendar. They done fucked that up a long time ago. Like, anyway, that's another video. But this is why they call it a timeline, because we're all of us is going off everybody's events and different things they're experiencing, they putting on social media, and we're all getting a dopamine hit of that shit. And if you know what dopamine is, you probably heard that a few times dealing with social media and shit. Dopamine is where you get a rush of that feel-good feeling. This shit is equivalent to smoking crack cocaine. This is why people wake up in the morning and hit the light and check to see who like they shit, who commented and all that. And when you see it, you get that dopamine hit. You think that shit by mistake? When Silicon Valley build these apps, they build these apps to steal your attention. This is why TikTok wants you to be on that bitch all day fucking long to make money. TikTok done turn all their users into sellers. And ain't nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you. You get on there, you sell some shit, make you some money, but I'm just showing you what they do. You get what I'm saying? If you look at why Facebook changed their name from Facebook to metadata. Meta is a fucking ancient word, an Egyptian ancient word. Meta means beyond or behind or after. And when you add data to it, that means they got all the data to where they in the driver's seat. And how you know that's true? Because all companies, if you know anything about marketing, all companies buy data. Data is more valuable than oil. Why? Because with the data, you can get in the front of everybody's decision making. Remember, it's only 12 years in a month. If they calculate what sold in this month, what product sold, who bought it, what part of the year, what part of the world, what sex bought it, whether was it male or female, what age range, they have all the meta data. They know what sells and don't sells. They know why it sells. Don't you know that shit record everything you do on Amazon? If you look at Amazon, you look at the logo. People don't recognize this. You see that little loop that go up under it? That shit go from A to the letter Z, meaning they got everything from A to Z. See, these are symbolic symbolisms on how they control us, and that's just a basic one. I can break some down and it'll blow your fucking mind. Now let me go a step further, right? When you bought commercials on TV, they called it broadcasting. Why? Because it went out to everybody. The only way they can categorize people was based off the networks, the shows. You knew to promote a rap concert on what channel? BET, MTV, because of the shows that was coming on those channels that was channeling the people that was interested in those channels. You knew to promote a family event on what channel? Lifetime. That's why they called it broadcasting, because it went out to everybody that watched Lifetime. Now, to go a step further, with metadata, this shit gonna blow your mind. With metadata, they're able to do what they call targeting. What is targeting? They don't have to broadcast no more. If an advertiser come to Facebook and bought anything dealing with beer. If you ever liked a beer post, if you ever talked about beer, if you ever shared a beer post, that advertisement will go to you. This is how the algorithm is made also. You feel me? That's a whole nother fucking, the algorithm gonna blow your mind, because the algorithm is basically like your own personal trainer that's customizing to you based off what you're doing on social media. This is why they could take and do just like the FBI used to do. They go off patterns. You can't get on social media and pretend that you're a certain age knowing you're a different age. You can't say you're younger than who you are based off the shit you're doing on Facebook, the actions you're taking. And they cross-reference that shit with millions of other people, and they can categorize your ass and say, nope, you in your 30s. And people don't understand this. Why do you think they created social media? Social media was designed for you to tell all your business. You married? Yup. How much money you make? What you like, what you don't like? What sorority you were into? Are you single? I told you, data is more valuable than oil. Data. And this is why. Once they get all the data, they can get ahead of your decision making. They can make decisions for you before you can motherfucking make them. They say that if you get on Facebook, not Facebook, but Amazon, you get on Amazon based off what you're searching for, they can tell you pregnant before you can tell. Don't ask me how, but it's all about the data. They record everything you do on these platforms. They know. And companies buy the fucking data. Every day. What you think they do with debt? Y'all gotta excuse the noise, I'm out here at the park. But they buy debt. Companies buy debt. People don't believe that. If a company do a charge off and that shit was over $1 million some dollars, they'll sell that shit to somebody for probably, ain't no telling, 100,000, 200,000, $1 million worth of debt. They'll sell that shit for peanuts. And this is why these people call you and say, hey, you gotta, you owe $10,000, or you owe $5,000, $3,000. Well, we'll settle that bit right now for half. And that's why I tell y'all, don't do that, because when you spend that money and you think you closing that debt, you not, because that's not the original person you got that debt with. That shit gonna still show up on your credit. Anyway, man, this shit kind of noisy out here, man. I just want to drop that on y'all right quick, but we'll get more into this shit. But words, man, you have to understand the cumulative linguistics and the etymology of words, where words come from, where them bitches stem from. And once you get to the point where you look these words up from an etymology standpoint, you can break all this shit down. Oh, you can break this shit down. And you'll understand why these companies call their companies what they do. A lot of that shit be ritual based. I'll probably do another video to that, man. And I'm gonna blow y'all mind with some of these words and the symbols, like Walgreens, they got a mortar and pestle bowl. I think I'm saying it right. A mortar and pestle bowl. You know the bowl with the little stick? That's for crunching up herbs. Pharmacies. The word pharmacy comes from the word pharmakeia. When you mixing up herbs and shit, they made witches seem to be bad. I mean, of course you got bad witches, but that wasn't the case. They made witches seem bad. When you go look up the witch files and when they so-called killed all the witches, this is when Rome, this is when back in the day they was trying to convert everybody over to their system. They didn't want you studying medicine, same way they don't want you doing that shit today. So any witch that studied potions and mixed herbs and gave it to people and healed them, he was punished. So through cartoons and through Hollywood and all this shit, they made witches seem bad. When yes, you do got bad witches, but that wasn't the case. Once you really know, you know, bro. But anyway, man, this shit too noisy, man. I don't mean to have all this noise in the background. Y'all got to excuse me for that. I'm finna go ahead and finish up what I'm doing today. But we'll jump on this shit another day, man. Words, man. I'm telling y'all, words are spells, man. When you learn what these words is and where they come from, the English language is the most lowest vibration of words. That's why they say this shit is plain English, because it is. Other languages, we be, like I said, when they be saying and all that shit, those are high vibrational words, frequencies. Anyway, They got all the knowledge, bro. They just use that shit against you. You see what I'm saying? You don't know no better. You go to their schools. They teach you what they want to teach you. And the shit they teach you puts you in the position to be compromised. So you're gonna lose by default. You ever seen that commercial, The Real McCoy? The Ford commercial? You know why they said that? Because the guy that invented it, his name was Elijah McCoy. The Real McCoy. You damn right it was The Real McCoy. Also go look up Stanley Myers, the guy that created the carburetor that ran 100% off water. And they put it on the news. But guess what happens? When he went to go sit down with the automobile company that wanted to buy the patent, he walked out the restaurant, fell to the ground. You know what his brother said? The last thing he said, they poisoned me. They poisoned me. And this has something to do with putting steel plates in the water, putting an electric current to it, because everything got to deal with electricity or energy. And it creates a combustion, like the smoke. And somehow that powers the carburetor, some shit like that. But if these motherfuckers wanted the world to be a better place, they would. But they don't. Because do you know what that would have done to the automobile industry? It would have disrupted their agendas. And y'all be voting for these same people. Anyway, it's your boy Papa Duck, man. I love y'all. Like I tell you all the time, in order for you to be found, you must first be lost.